Welcome, everyone. I'm Therese. I'm a nurse. I am a yoga instructor, and I'm also a consultant with LifeVantage. And I want to ask you a question before we get started. Who is excited about gut health? Put
Me,
a
me,
put
me,
a
me.
one. Put a one in the chat if you're excited about gut health. Now, I have to be honest, gut health has not been something that really excites me. And I don't think most people, when you first learn about it or think about it, it's like, really? We're going to talk about poop? Really? But gut health is so important. And I think by the end of our presentation tonight, you will be excited about gut health. So I want to share with you a story about why I'm here. In 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it rocked my world. It was something that I did not expect because I always considered myself a very healthy person. And so, unfortunately, the type of breast cancer I had has a very high recurrence rate. So I did the whole thing. I did double mastectomy. I lost my hair. I did 6 months of chemotherapy. It was probably the worst year of my life. And so I went through all that, came out of it. They said, "You're cancer free. Yay." So you would think that would be the end and I would be able to move on with my life, right? No, I was terrified of recurrence. And so I started on a journey, on a search to find what I could do to prevent recurrence because I never wanted to have to go through chemo again, have cancer again. And my friend found me and shared with me LifeVantage. And I'm here today to tell about it still, 12 years later. And the reason that I started with LifeVantage because of the research. I'm an evidence-based person, and the research that this company does is incomparable. I saw the study that showed that cancer rates are lowered by taking one of our products, not just breast cancer, but colon cancer and skin cancer. So I said, sign me up. I'm on this. But lo and behold, after about 3 months of taking the product, my back pain went away. I'm a yoga teacher, right? And it was hurting to touch my toes and do all those crazy things that we yoga instructors do. And I didn't know that I could continue to teach yoga. And here I am 12 years later teaching yoga still. So I'm so excited to be able to share this information. We're going to be talking about gut health tonight, but we're also going to be talking about a product that started LifeVantage. It's called Protandim NRF2. And who here, put a one in the chat if you like football. So I'm probably one of the few people that I'm not a big fan of football, but I do know that there's offense and there's a defense, right? And you need both of them to be successful, to win, right? And so we're going to be talking about two products. One we consider the defense and one we consider the offense. Now, put a two in, well, tell me in the chat, which do you think gets all the glory, offense or the defense?
Oh,
And we all know the answer. It's the offense, right? The quarterback. I mean, they're the ones, that's the exciting part, right? But the defense is super important, right? So we're going to start by talking a little bit about NRF2 activation, which is the defense. Then we're going to go into our new product, which is our PhytoPower 84. And we have a special guest to speak about that tonight. And then we're going to finish with our business opportunity, which is just as exciting. So let's dive in. We're going to start with the defense, which is NRF2 activation. Well, what the heck does that mean? NRF2 activation. And NRF2 is actually a pathway in every cell in your body. And it is a pathway that when signaled, when the cell signals this pathway, it tells the cell to make antioxidant enzymes, to make anti-inflammatory enzymes, but also to signal our survival genes. So that all sounds like pretty good stuff, right? And we have the research to prove that it does all of these things. So Washington State University came out and made this statement that NRF2 activation is potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Very powerful statement. So when I say it activates antioxidants, well, what do antioxidants do? They fight off something called oxidative stress. And oxidative stress, the old term for that was free radical damage. Free radical damage, oxidative stress, is linked to hundreds of diseases, and you can go to pubmed.gov and search oxidative stress and heart disease, oxidative stress and Alzheimer's, oxidative stress and diabetes, high blood pressure. They're all linked to oxidative stress, which is basically damaging our cells. And so oxidative stress, we see it in real life. I mean, if you leave a piece of metal out in the rain, it gets rusty, right? That's oxidative stress. You cut an apple in half. This illustration shows how an apple looks. It's getting exposed to oxygen, and that's what breaks down the apple, the inside of the apple, and gets it all ugly and wrinkly. The same thing is happening inside our cells. As we get exposed to oxidative stress, our cells get damaged. And once they're damaged, it becomes kind of this downward cycle where they're damaged, so they don't function as well. You're not making as many antioxidants. You get more damage because you're not making as many antioxidant enzymes, and it just keeps going. What if we could create a pill that could turn on our cells to create our own antioxidants by the millions? Well, that's what Protandim NRF2 is. It's so exciting. One of the antioxidants that is produced is glutathione. And if you've been following the news at all, glutathione has become a buzzword in the media because they've shown that taking Tylenol decreases glutathione. Well, glutathione is our cell's master antioxidant. And guess what our Protandim NRF2 does? This is one of the antioxidants that is increased, and it's increased by 300% in 120 days. So if you're not sure, if you've never heard of glutathione, if you're like, well, I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is or what it does, this is what it does. It detoxifies chemicals and heavy metals. That's important, right? Reduces oxidative stress and inflammation. Protects your brain and your mitochondria. Mitochondria is where we get our energy from. And it keeps our cells youthful and resilient. Who doesn't want that? So, let me see if I can get, there we go. So in comes Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. And we have the research that shows that we can lower oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And again, that is evidence-based research that has been done. Supports the cell's natural cellular repair and rejuvenation processes, and it increases the median lifespan in humans. The study was done on mice, but it increases our median lifespan, and that was done by the National Institute of Aging. So as you can see at the bottom, it's comprised of these 5 herbs, all natural: turmeric, milk thistle, green tea extract, bacopa, and ashwagandha. You may be taking 1, 2, or even 3 of these herbs because they are all powerful antioxidants in and of themselves. However, any one of them or any blend of any one of them will not activate your NRF2 pathway to allow your cells to make the antioxidants. So you get an 18-fold increase in antioxidant enzymes when you take Protandim versus just taking one antioxidant, one and done, right? It's so powerful. And so so this is the product that there's 28 peer-reviewed studies on in PubMed.gov. So I had looked at these studies when I first came in and saw, oh, you take this product and it activates your cells to fight cancer. Sign me up. I'm done. I mean, I'm in. And we've come up with some newer products now. And our newest is all about gut health. It's Phyto Power 1 and 2, or P84. And this is the exciting part of our talk because this is the defense. I mean, I'm sorry, this is the offense. And so we have a special guest speaker on tonight, Akita Mulazam. And he is the CEO. I have to read his bio. He's the CEO of Everyone Eats and the CSO of USHX. He's a fashion model, a designer, a brand ambassador for Plugger TV, and they collaborate with some of the top tech creators in the world. Akita is also a former University of Kansas football player. He made history as part of the first African-American group under World Fusion to host the Griot Gala at the Oscars. Isn't that that's really cool. This weekend, he's going to get a new award. He's going to receive the Brand Builder Award at the Radio Connect Awards in Vegas. So that's congratulations to you, Akita. And he continues to bridge entrepreneurship, wellness, and innovation to inspire transformation globally. So I'm going to just let you tell me when you want me to go to the next slide.
Hey, thank you for the warm welcome. I want to thank everybody for coming on and giving me this warm welcome. You can go to the next slide. That's going to get into this P84. Hey, listen, guys, the P84 is basically 10 products in one, is what you're going to see here. So you just got 2 packs. We call it 2 rips and a sip. So it's easy to travel with. It's 10 products all in one. So you got the prebiotics, you got the targeted probiotics, you got the postbiotics, you got the detox binder blend, you got the glutathione precursor blend, you got the fermented accessory blend, you got the different other colors that you have in there. And you know, as many of you know, when we was kids, you know, your parents used to always tell you to eat your greens. You know, eat your greens, you know, and I hated greens. I tell you what, and even though I'm a plant-based eater, when I was younger, I hated greens. I hated it all, but now I love it, right? Let's go to the next slide. Now, in the P84, what they did was they went to 5 different continents, 21 different countries, and they sought the best product to put together as far as the P84 is concerned. Go back to Phyto Power 1.
Sorry. Yeah.
In Phyto Power 1, you got actually 40 colors of essential whole foods that you can see. Now, even if they were to just put 5 of each, you know, that would have been great, but they put 10 of each. So when you go to the green blend and you see the immunity and aging, you see like barley grass, green apple, kale, spinach, broccoli, chlorella, which is very important, watercress, kelp, asparagus, leek, and garlic. Then when you go to the yellow orange blend, and that's for like energy and vitality. So you're talking about carrot, papaya, sweet potatoes, and all the way down. And some of these stuff you probably never even had into your diet. The red blend, the glutathione, blood circulation blend, which is you got pomegranate, you got rose hip, hickory, pear, cactus, tomato. You got all of that that's in there. Then you got the blue and purple blend that you see right there with the blueberry, black currant, bilberry, blackberry. All of these essential high energy foods that you have. And still within Phytopower 1, go to the next slide. We have, no, it's another slide after that. There you go. There you go. Also, you got the pre, the pro, and you got the post probiotics that's in it. So you got Jerusalem, antichoke, the insulin, barber fruit. How many of you guys remember Lion King? The barber fruit, we got that in there. Then you got the probiotics. Now, if you look up each one of these, like lactose bacillus rhamnosus, lactose bacillus rutini, and on, you will see that a lot of this got to do with, building bone structure. So, like, we have an 87-year-old woman in our group that couldn't even walk. And as you get old, your bones get fragile and stuff like that. And let me tell you something, guys. This woman is moving, she's grooving, she's shaking, and she's traveling all over the place talking about this. So this is very important because these are the bacteria, the probiotic bacteria that comes from fruits and comes from stuff like that that you're going to need into your system. Now, when you get to the post probiotics, me being a vegan, and we having a plant-based cafe here, what I can tell you is a lot of supposedly healthy people is sick. A lot of vegans are sick because they're not getting all of the colors into their diet every day. What I love best about this is the enzymes that they added to the, you're talking about the papain that comes from uh I can't remember the fruit that it comes from, but it comes
Is it pineapple?
pineapple. It comes from pineapple. You got the amylase, the cellulase, the promolase, and the lactase. So basically, you have enzymes that will break down the protein. You got enzymes that's going to break down the carbs, the sugars, and all of that. So it doesn't even matter if you eat meat or whatever you eat. This is going to be made to allow you to go to the restroom at least twice a day. Twice a day, but it's a soft detox. Go back to Phytopower 2 right now. Okay, when you get into the Phytopower 2, you got the botanical blends. You got the detox blend, which is the blueberry, grapeseed, the noni. Now, a lot of people remember Tanisha Noni that came out. That was a company that our CEO had owned before this. But what they did was they fermented the noni to where it's 45% more potent. So you got Acadia, you got beetroot, cranberry, pomegranate, turmeric, and then you got the glutathione blend. Along with when you take the NF2, you're getting more of that into your system. So you got spinach, moringa leaf, kale cake, spirulina, chlorella. Then you got the toxin binding and inflammatory reduction blend. And this is good because being an ex-athlete, you get those old, injuries or whatnot. I don't feel any of that, guys. And I'm 56 years old, and I'm telling you, I can still run, jump, and all of that. So you got the blackberry, the raspberry, the currant, the purple carrot. Then you got the fermented assistant blend. So you got the insulin from chicory root, plum fermented, kabocha, and obushi. And then you got to remember you got the noni. Then you got the probiotics. This is for your gut barrier because a lot of times when we take in synthetic vitamins, we take in synthetic foods over the course of your life, you get holes in your gut and it affects people differently. So with this gut barrier, what it does is it reseals the outer lining of your gut to where you can function. This is very, very powerful. And what I do every morning, I've been on this since we launched it this year, and I take this twice a day. I do know, as far as the companies say, you got to be 18 years and older to take it. But, I give it to my kids, 3 years old and up. Hey, I even gave it to my French bulldog. It's nothing but plants, fruits, and vegetables. So, I take this P84, I mix it up in about 8 ounces of water. I pop the NF2. I pop that in. I drink it, and that's all I need to take in. Now, just imagine taking in over 100 different plants, fruits, and vegetables in your diet every day. And as we say, is when you give your body the necessary things that it needs, it has an innate ability to do things that it used to do when you was a child, you know. So that's the P84. I know that a lot of people haven't gotten haven't gotten on it to get the results. But let me tell you something. Once our senior citizens got on it, and within 6 months they started talking about their testimony, the business exploded. So I'm just telling you, down the line, you guys are going to have some great testimonies. I mean, from autistic kids, nonverbal kids speaking again. And if you have an elimination problems, you're going to automatically start to lose weight. So it's just like I said in the P84, after they did the clinical test, we found out that the P84 actually activates 14 key gut peptides that regulate, repair, and restore the gut. And that's very, very important because, as they say, the gut is like the second brain. And when you tied in there with that protandum, oh my God, it's lights out, guys. And let me tell you something, my energy is off the chart. I've been off since 3 o'clock this morning, and I'm probably going to be up to about 3 o'clock this morning. Then I'm going to jump on the flight, and I'm going to be out in Vegas, and I'm going to be talking about this. It's P84. It's going to become a part of your conversation. Have you had your P84? As soon as you see somebody angry, they didn't have they ate their P84. It's going to bring life into you. I'm telling you, this is something you got to get on. And what we recommend is that you be on it at least 3 months, but you're going to start to see results within days. So that's my key point on the P84. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
My goodness, I'm so excited now. So these next couple slides, I'm just going to blow through these. They just show the different peptides that are increased, and they're broken into the three categories: repair, restore, and regulate. But we're not going to get into detail about that. I wanted to just share this slide with you. We're addressing antioxidant activation and gut peptide activation. So just like Akita said, the two together, offense, defense, that's what we're doing. And we have a stack. It's called the Healthy Edge stack. And you can see what it does. I mean, between offense, restoring communication, keeping your system agile and strong, to defense, which is protecting ourselves from the hits life throws our way. So if you take nothing else, I think this is a blend that would work for you. So let's switch gears a little bit. I'm going to introduce Dr. Rebecca Glasser. She is a practicing doctor and has been so for 25 years. And she discovered LifeVantage about 12 years ago, right?
Yeah, a little bit longer than that even. Yeah.
And 13, 14. So she's been on the scientific advisory board with LifeVantage. She is a wealth of knowledge about our science. She is also one of the top leaders in our company. And so she's going to share a little bit about the business opportunity with LifeVantage.
So wonderful. And I so enjoyed, it's kind of fun being the physician and listening to Akita and Therese present the science on this and talk about the products because, when I first started with LifeVantage, the thing that attracted me the most to this company was the science and it was what we had to offer. And I think Therese really alluded to it in her opening commentary where she said, listen, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. All I want to think about is what does my life look like from here forward? How can I make sure that my life is the best quality of life possible? And I think so many of us on this call tonight are realizing it's not just about living a long time, it's about living your best life. so that you have the energy, that you have the ability to do all of those things that you got to do when you were younger, but finally you get to do them when you're older and you actually have the time to do them. But I think so many of us focus in on health, but I think there's other big problems going on here in the United States as well as in other countries abroad. And the biggest which is the economy. You know, we're all looking at the economy right now and we're all a little worried because we're realizing that the retirement age has gone up and up and up. And there's so many people who are now working in their 70s and beyond. You look at the housing market, right? It's absolutely impossible to buy a house. That dream for our children to be able to buy their own house, that's going away because prices are up, interest rates are up. You go to the grocery store, well, guess what? Inflation used to be really high. So even though inflation is back down, you still can't get out of the grocery store for $100 or $200 every time you go in. I get one bag of groceries and I'm like, how in the world is that $100? Right? Insurance is way up. Credit card balances are way up. All of these things going on in the economy are facing us directly. And so the other thing that I want to bring to your attention, though, is that chronic disease is at an all-time high. What happened? You know, here we are, supposedly best medicine anywhere in the world is supposed to be in the United States, but we're looking at it and our peers, our parents, our grandparents have the highest rate of chronic disease of all time. And I think Akita said it very well. You are what you eat, right? You are what you eat. And when you're little, you don't necessarily want to eat those vegetables, but we are figuring out that our food sources are wrong. And the approach of medicine is to tell you, you know, here, let me give you a pill for that. Oh, you're overweight? Let me give you a pill for that. Let's put you on some Ozempic. But we are failing to look at the root cause of what's going on in society. We have chronic disease, we're unhealthy, we're living longer, but it's not a healthy longer. And financially, people are struggling and people feel it. And so, to me, even when you look at people who are six-figure earners, so many of them are living paycheck to paycheck. So if you would, in the chat, tell me what's pinching more. Is it health? Is it wealth? Or is it both? Are you feeling the pinch from both? Put it in the chat. Next slide, please. And so, you know, when I first joined LifeVantage, to me, what was so important about this company is that we really are an activation company. So the first product we presented, Protandim NRF2, it's activating your cells to make more antioxidant enzymes, but also more anti-inflammatory enzymes. So think about that. What's the buzzword these days? Is inflammation, is that directly related to everything we learn about disease? It is inflammation. In addition to that, P84, let's activate the gut. If we heal the gut, what other things are affected by that? It's not just digestion. It's your immune system. It's your brain. It's, you know, your skin. Everything is connected to the gut. So the combination of these two products is such a beautiful marriage, of such a beautiful synergy between these products. So if you look at our company, we were founded back in 2003. We're based here in the United States, which I think is a very important thing these days. We are debt free. When you look at businesses, you want to get involved with a business that is debt free. That's hard to come by these days. In addition, we're publicly traded on the NASDAQ. You can follow our call signs. But in addition to that, I think so many people are really looking for a way out of financial stress. So next slide, please. So to me, I look at our system and You heard the excitement from Akita, right? What's he going to do? He's going to go to Vegas. He's going to tell absolutely everyone about P84. I have something that's going to make you feel better. And at the same time, I have a business opportunity for you. So that's to me what we have to offer. Because so many people are working one job, but most people are working more than one job. So how would you like to marry that health and that wealth? How would you like to run a side business from your phone? It's an easy thing to do. You can pay for your products and at the same time earn a side income. So this is something you're going to want to share with people. Let's say you get on this combination and within a month you're already feeling better. I promise you, you're going to go out and tell 10 people right away. There's no question about it, right? You want to share this with everybody. So make sure as you're listening to this presentation that you're also listening to the business side, because I think we're all feeling the pinch these days. Next slide, please. So we tried purposely to try and keep this presentation as just a sampler, a taste of what we have. There's just so much more information. So I'm going to wrap this up, but I'm going to tell you this is the time for action. You know, what do you want to do next? You want to make sure that you connect with the person who invited you to this presentation. And you may be in a couple of different groups. I have a lot of you guys who are researchers. So I would say if you're a researcher, great. Make sure you join our educational group. Make sure you reach out to the person who invited you to this and do your research. Find out more information about our products and about our business opportunity. A lot of you may want to just become a customer, and that's fantastic. We would love to get you started on the healthy edge and get your offense and your defense going. And then there's a number of you who might want to become a consultant or look at this business opportunity. There is no better time than to get involved in something that is preventative, that's working on health. That is the focus. That is the trend. That is where everyone is going these days. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And we will turn off the recording and then we may even take a couple questions if we can open it up. So Therese, I'll let you